Hello, my friend. How are you? How are you feeling today? Talk to me. I hope you're always fine. God bless you. Today, we're going to study advertisement. How do we advertise things? How do we call people's attention? How do we convince people without talking to them verbally? How do I make a leaflet? How do I think of a billboard that will attract people's attention, that will generate curiosity? Today, we're going to study marketing. Yeah. But before we start, let's organize our place. Please, if you can, sit down comfortably. Have a desk in front of you. Grab pen. Grab paper. This notepad is not enough. Maybe a notebook is better. Let me see. I don't have any notebooks here anymore. The notebooks are there. Okay, but grab a notebook. Write down the examples you see during the class. Take notes. Participate. Comment the class. The more you participate, the more opportunities you have. Another very important thing, I always leave my cell phone on flight mode. This way I will not receive calls, messages, notifications, and I will be 100% focused in your class, in your knowledge. Let's stretch. Today we're going to do a different stretch. We're going to stretch our chest. Please move your shoulders back and do this. You're going to move your arms to the back and open your chest. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Release your arms. Now you're going to cross your arms and do this. You're going to stretch this part of your shoulders and arms. Let's go. Count to 10, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Change the arm. And let's go. 10 seconds, okay? You count for us. You start. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. All right. Now we are going to do this here. You are going to take your elbow and stretch. 10 seconds. All right, the other arm. You count for us, please. Count for us. 1, 2. All right. Release your shoulders. Release your arms. Let's breathe in and breathe out. And you might think, Teacher, come on, I am here to study English. I don't want to do aerobics. I don't want to have a stretching class. I don't want to meditate. I don't want to breathe. I know. But while we're doing it, I am increasing your concentration and I am working the vocabulary of numbers, of health, of body. For example, if you see me wearing these clothes, you say, why? Why is Felipe wearing a sweater today? Why is he wearing this vest? Why is Felipe wearing a scarf? It's because it's so cold here, you have no idea, my friend. All right, are we ready? Are you prepared? Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. Let's start studying, seeing how we persuade people by presenting something visual, something attractive, something they will be curious to know more about. This is the basics of advertisement. This is the basics of marketing. For example, you want to convince your family that acquiring a new language is good for them. You are already studying English. You know the benefit. You feel the benefits. But you want to convince your husband. You want to convince your wife. You want to convince your kids that this is good for them. How do you do it? I'm going to share a video with you so then we can start gathering information before we move to the marketing. Let's study the topic. We're taking here the idea. Well, I want to show people the benefits of speaking another language. All right, but first I need to see the benefits. Let's see them.
Hablas español? Parlez-vous français? Ou cherchez ou moi? If you answered si, oui, or moi, and you're watching this in English, chances are you belong to the world's bilingual majority. And besides having an easier time traveling or watching movies without subtitles, knowing 2 or more languages means that your brain may actually look different than those of your monolingual friends. What does it really mean to know language? Language ability is typically measured in 2 active parts, speaking and writing, and 2 passive parts, listening and reading. While a balanced bilingual has near equal abilities across the board in 2 languages, most bilinguals around the world know and use their languages in varying proportions. And depending on their situation and how they acquired each language, they can be classified in 3 general types. For example, let's take Gabriela, whose family immigrates to the US from Peru when she's 2 years old. As a compound bilingual, Gabriela develops 2 linguistic codes simultaneously, with a single set of concepts, learning both English and Spanish as she begins to process the world around her. Her teenage brother, on the other hand, might be a coordinate bilingual, working with 2 sets of concepts, learning English in school, while continuing to speak Spanish at home and with friends. Gabriela's parents are likely to be subordinate bilinguals, who learn a secondary language by filtering through the primary language. Because all types of bilingual people can become fully proficient in a language, regardless of accent, the difference may not be apparent to a casual observer. But recent advances in brain imaging technology has given neurolinguistics a glimpse into how specific aspects of language learning affect the bilingual brain. It's well known that the brain's left hemisphere is more dominant and analytical in logical processes, while the right hemisphere is more active in emotion and social ones. Though this is a matter of degree, not an absolute split. The fact that language involves both types of functions, while lateralization develops gradually with age, has led to the critical period hypothesis, According to this theory, children learn languages more easily because the plasticity of their developing brains let them use hemisphere in language acquisition. While in most adults, language lateralizes to one hemisphere, usually the left. If this is true, learning a language in childhood may give you a more holistic grasp of its social and emotional contexts. Conversely, recent research showed that people who learned a second language in adulthood exhibit less emotional bias and more rational approach when confronting problems in the second language than in their native one. But regardless of when you acquire additional languages, being multilingual gives your brain some remarkable advantages. Some of these are even visible, such as higher density of the gray matter that contains most of your brain's neurons, and more activity in certain regions when engaging a second language. The heightened workout a bilingual brain receives throughout its life can also help delay the onset of diseases like Alzheimer's by as much as 5 years. The idea of major cognitive benefits may seem intuitive now, but it would have surprised earlier experts. Before the 1960s, bilingualism was considered a handicap that slowed the child's development by forcing them to spend too much energy distinguishing between languages, a view based largely on flawed studies. And while a more recent study did show that reaction times and errors increase for some bilingual students in cross-language tests, it also showed that the effort and attention needed to switch between languages triggered more activity in and potentially strengthened the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain that plays a large role in executive function, problem solving, switching between tasks, and focusing while filtering out irrelevant information. So while bilingualism may not necessarily make you smarter, it does make your brain more healthy, complex, and actively engaged. And even if you didn't have the good fortune of learning a second language as a kid, it's never too late to do yourself a favor and make the linguistic leap from hello to hola, bonjour, or ni hao. Because when it comes to our brain, a little exercise can go a long way.
Impressive. Impressive. What is this video telling us? The girl says, we had the misconception that kids learn languages easier because of their brain's plasticity and because they don't have the emotional frustration of not understanding this or that. But research has shown that adults acquire a new language using their left side of the brain, which is more rational, which means we adults focus more in the structure of the language and we can acquire the language faster, as much as the kids. And she mentions different parts of the brain that are activated when we are studying English. These are amazing facts. I love to see these facts. Maybe they're interesting to you, but are they enough to convince your family? Maybe, maybe not. So let's create here an advertisement to encourage your kids to study, to learn English. Let's suppose your kids are teenagers. How can we convince them to learn a new language? Well, I would write, travel more. But if you only see the letters, the words here, travel more, with no images, with no animation, maybe this leaflet, this image, doesn't attract them. So let's flourish more. Let's see here. Travel more. All right, now let's add more images related to this. Okay. All right. Yes. You see that now it's more attractive. Now let's suppose you have a friend who is looking for a partner. This person feels alone and she or he wants to find someone to love. How can we convince this person? We can write here, meet new people. But only this sentence does not convince the person. We must flourish with images that will touch this person's emotions. As the video said, the right side of the brain, which is responsible for the emotions. So how do we make it better? Let's add images. Yeah. Okay. We are improving our marketing piece, our advertisement. Let's suppose you know someone who wants to grow in his or her career. This person wants to make more money. This person wants to be rich. All right. So, in this case, we can write, speak English. But only giving this person this message, speak English, does not attract the person. How do we convince this person? Let's improve this image. Yeah, exactly. You know, we are adding images that attract this person's interest. Because this person is looking for money, for trips, for cars, maybe. I'm showing you the importance of giving or offering the person what he or she wants. We must call this person's attention by showing them what they want. Do you understand? 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. Let's keep talking about marketing, advertisement. Here we go. Advertisement. I want to show you the importance of good relationships for your happiness. I want to prove this to you. I want to convince you to have better relationships. I can talk to you, or I can show you images, I can show you a video, and I will start by showing you a video. I can play the video full screen to you. 3, 2, 1.
We don't just send them questionnaires. We interview them in their living rooms. We get their medical records from their doctors. We draw their blood. We scan their brains. We talk to their children. We videotape them talking with their wives about their deepest concerns. And when about a decade ago we finally asked the wives if they would join us as members of the study, many of the women said, it's about time. So what have we learned? What are the lessons that come from the tens of thousands of pages of information that we've generated on these lives? Well, the lessons aren't about wealth or fame or working harder and harder. The clearest message that we get from this 75-year study is this: good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period. We've learned 3 big lessons about relationships. The first is that social connections are really good for us and that loneliness kills. It turns out that people who are more socially connected to family, to friends, to community are happier, they're physically healthier, and they live longer than people who are less well connected. And the experience of loneliness turns out to be toxic. People who are more isolated than they want to be from others find that they are less happy, their health declines earlier in midlife, their brain functioning declines sooner, and they live shorter lives than people who are not lonely. And the sad fact is that at any given time, more than 1 in 5 Americans will report that they're lonely. And we know that you can be lonely in a crowd and you can be lonely in a marriage. So the second big lesson that we learned is that it's not just the number of friends you have, and it's not whether or not you're in a committed relationship, but it's the quality of your close relationships that matters. It turns out that living in the midst of conflict is really bad for our health. High conflict marriages, for example, without much affection, turn out to be very bad for our health, perhaps worse than getting divorced. And living in the midst of good, warm relationships is protective. Once we had followed our men all the way into their 80s, we wanted to look back at them at midlife and to see if we could predict who was going to grow into a happy, healthy octogenarian and who wasn't. And when we gathered together everything we knew about them at age 50, it wasn't their middle-aged cholesterol levels that predicted how they were going to grow old. It was how satisfied they were in their relationships. The people who were the most satisfied in their relationships at age 50 were the healthiest at age 80.
Yes, my friend. You see, better relationships improve your happiness. You are happier when you relate better with people. And I will create a piece of marketing, of advertisement here to convince you that. Let me see if I can build something good here. Be happier. Talk about your feelings. Laugh about life. Be healthier. What am I doing here? I'm trying to be engaging in this board. Be happier. Talk about your feelings. Laugh about life. Be healthier. And then I tell you, I write here. How? By improving your relationships. What am I doing here? I'm first calling your attention, then I'm calling your interest. I think you were interested in being happier. Then I touch your desire to talk about your feelings, to laugh about life, to be healthier. And then I call your action. How? Improve your relationships. I'm doing this AIDA strategy for marketing. Attention, interest, desire, and action. Do you want to be happier? Do you want to be healthier? Do you want to laugh about life? All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. We are talking about marketing, attention, interest, desire, action. And I have to tell you, the best marketing strategy is to over-deliver. When you under-promise and over-deliver, your client is happy. And to build a good relationship with your client, you must over-deliver. Think about ways to make your client happy. Think about ways to improve your service, to improve your product. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. Yes, we're finishing one more class. This is so good. I love when we come to this point of the class, and you know my reasons. To me, this part of the class, getting to the end of the class with you, means that you were growing, that you were progressing, that you were more focused. I know we have some interruptions during the class, that sometimes you check your cell phone, that you listen to something and you have to answer. That's okay. But we're improving. We're getting more prepared for happy moments, for opportunities. We're working your brain. And today we talked about marketing, persuasion, advertisement. And my message to you is, when you write something to convince someone, you have to think from the person's perspective. For example, when I teach you English, I know English is essential nowadays. I know that people who speak English have more opportunities. I know that people who speak English are happier according to the research I have read. Okay, but to convince you this, I must wear your glasses and talk related to your goals, to your priorities. Because my opinion to you, you can respect, but it has no value. But if I am offering something that is good for you, that you see as a positive thing, you will stop to listen. You will stop to pay attention. And if what I am offering you gives you more results, then you start to trust me and you start to study more, and you start to listen to me more often, and so on. Okay? I have a video to you. I'm gonna play this video to you. I'll share it on the full screen. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my friend. I'm happy to see you here. I'm happy to see your progress. Hoje, nós encerramos As Armas da Persuasão, Robert Cialdini. Um livro que nós discutimos sobre como convencer melhor as pessoas e também como evitar decisões ruins. Embora todos queiramos tomar a decisão mais ponderada e refletida possível em qualquer situação, a mutabilidade e o ritmo acelerado da vida moderna com frequência nos privam das condições apropriadas para uma análise cuidadosa de todos os prós e contras das decisões que nós temos que tomar todos os dias. Por causa da crescente sobrecarga cognitiva em nossa sociedade, a tomada de decisões por atalhos tende a aumentar de maneira proporcional. Nós vamos cada vez mais decidir utilizando esses atalhos. Isso nos dá uma vantagem, porque nós precisamos pensar, raciocinar menos e dedicar menos tempo a cada decisão, e também nos coloca numa situação de vulnerabilidade. Como nós já conversamos bastante sobre utilizar estas estratégias para o bem, aqui eu reforço tudo que eu acredito que seja importante você fazer para convencer alguém mais facilmente. O primeiro ponto é a reciprocidade. Você quer que alguém faça alguma coisa por você? Primeiro você precisa oferecer. Primeiro você precisa dar o primeiro passo. O segundo ponto é a aprovação social. Quando você menciona que várias pessoas estão fazendo aquilo, fica mais fácil convencer a outra pessoa. Outro ponto é a autoridade. Quando você for chegar para conversar com alguém, apresente as suas credenciais, respalde as suas ideias com títulos, com pesquisas, vá bem vestido. O afeto é outra arma da persuasão. Se a pessoa gostar de você, fica mais fácil essa pessoa ser convencida por você. Busque semelhanças, coisas que você tem em comum com essa pessoa. A escassez foi a última arma da persuasão que nós estudamos. Mostre para a pessoa que você quer convencer que aquilo que você está oferecendo está acabando e outras pessoas querem aquilo. Use isso para o bem. Would you like some tea?
Yes, we're finishing this class. And I would like to ask you to convince me to visit your city. Why should I visit your city? Comment here. Thank you very much. I am Felipe Gibi. See you next class.